Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Syed Kholy, former Dean of Faculty of Commerce. Dr. Syed, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time. And let me start by asking you, Doctor, we're about 3 hours away from the closing of the polling stations on the third consecutive day of the presidential elections 2024. Overall, how do you assess the whole process over the last 3 days, Doctor?
Let me tell you, we all people ask why this election, especially this election, is important. We have to really mention all the instability around Egypt, the instability in Sudan, instability in Libya, and now in Gaza Strips, and war between Hamas and Palestinian people, and so on. All of that really makes this election very important. That is in a regional arena, the country around us. In a world arena, there is a war going on between Russia and Ukraine, and it affected the supply chain and the logistics all over the world. And really, what we need right now is the experience, the people who are developed Egypt Vision 2030 to continue in order to survive with all of these crises around us.
Right. Dr. Syed,
it is very important.
Yes.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yes,
Go
sorry. Let me ask you quickly, Dr. Syed, how do you see, the participation of Egyptians in their numbers? We're talking about the elderly, we're talking about women, we're talking about youngsters, all very keen to go and practice their political rights to vote and choose the new 6-year term president who will be coming. This is a very important message. How do you see this, and how do you see the preparations that have been put in place to enable different sectors, different age groups, different areas all around Egypt to participate in this?
If you take a look for the participation for this specific election, it is overwhelming participation for and density of people who are really voting. I believe that is the turnout rate for this specific election. It will be the highest in Egyptian history election. And for example, I'm a university professor. I really encourage my students for the last 2 days, the day before yesterday and today, and to go and make their vote, make their voice heard. And really, the turnout of this election, it will overcome any turnout for the last, I believe, 50 years. We've never seen a crowded election site as we saw in the last 3 days. In my way back from university today, I passed through several schools where they have election sites, and I see a lot of people really participate. Not only when I went to make my vote, I took my kids, young kids, in order to really participate in the election process and to see how important this election is all about. It's about
Absolutely.
the dignity of Egyptian people,
Absolutely,
the dignity of protecting our border, the dignity for developing our economic development in order to continue what we started in the last few years, and we continue to really overcome the inflation rate, building more factory instead of malls and so on.
Yes,
and
Dr.
that
Syed,
is what people...
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yes, Dr. Syed, now we've seen a collaboration between the National Election Authority, the judiciary, as well as various ministries like the Ministry of Interior, etc., all entrusted with the organization of these elections. They have collaborated their efforts to make the 3-day process successful all around the country. How do you see the different state facilitation by these different entities to enable the elections?
Let me thank the people who are responsible for all elections. For example, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, it's participated. The lawyers judges are participated, and we have a daily conference for the progress of election in all different governments in Egypt. And the transparency, what we see in TV, through online channels, through Zoom, through Teams, and so on, with all these governments, and you see it live in TV, how people are interested and how people are really participate in this election. That is really, and also we can see the turnout of women and young generation participate in this election. Remember, Egypt, as Egyptians, we are united. We are really making sure our leadership, it will continue in the next 6 years in order to enhance our economic development and to reduce inflation. And really, Egypt, it will be in a different place in the future.
Absolutely.
And the future in our hand. And this election, it makes a difference for all Egyptians to be able to safe and secure in our borders.
Absolutely. Now, the National Election Authority has, coordinated with the different operation rooms, and they've had continuous monitoring, and they've also allowed access to different monitors, whether from international entities or organizations or from members of civil societies, allowing them access to monitor and to observe the election process. How important do you see the presence of such observers?
All the observers, whether from Egyptian observer or international observer, there is no complaint up to this point of time about the process of election. And that is sends the message for Egyptian election. The transparency we saw in the last 3 days up to today, we didn't see any complaint from international monitor for our election. We have nothing to hide. We have really people, they are keen to really elect a person who can really take care of all Egyptians in the next 6 years, inshallah.
Yes, and you spoke about...
Remember,
yes.
Go ahead, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry, doctor. I'm running out of time, so I want to ask you as many questions as I can.
Sure.
You spoke about the judiciary and the presence of the judges who are monitoring and supervising the electoral process. We're speaking about 15,000 judges distributed at 11,631 subcommittees across 9,376 polling stations countrywide. How important is this judicial supervision in the running smoothly of the process of the elections?
Of course, technology, it played very important role where they have online access to all different governments, to all different locations, election sites, and this technology really is the control of the voting area in all over Egypt, whether we're talking about Upper Egypt from Aswan to the North Valley to East Valley and rural area and big city like Giza, like Cairo, like Alexandria. It's all monitored through what we call it as a digital means of technology in order to oversee what really happened all over Egypt. And I really salute the Egyptian TV and Nile TV especially to have live coverage for the last 3 days up to this point of time to show the Egyptian how important your vote is in this special election. And I believe that they are doing, the National Election Committee, they are doing a great job with other ministries which they are involved. Even so, they supplement for elderly people, cars, and really for special need people to come and vote and so on. And we saw that in TV, and that is, it sends the message for the rest of the world, especially in this time. Egyptians, they are united. Egyptians, they are united, and also nobody can really interfere with the Egyptian power in the future.
Absolutely.
And that is a clear message for them, for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Dr. Saeed Al-Kholy, former Dean of the Faculty of Commerce, I'd like to thank you very, very much, sir, for all your time and for your insight and for joining us on our coverage here on Nile TV International. With that, we wrap up our coverage for now, but do stay tuned. 6 p.m. Cairo local time, we begin our French transmission. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for joining us.